Hi guys, and welcome to day 2 of our Women's Health Business Blueprint, where we're going on a week-long challenge of just tackling something in your business every single day, because this is going to help get your work in women's health out there. And I know how confusing it can be to get started. So yesterday, your homework was to write down what got you from point A to point B, because that is going to end up being your signature process to help you solve your problem. And so as you notice, as you go throughout your business and you grow, you're going to end up having a lot of different signature processes based on the issue that you're basically helping someone tackle. So you can actually have numerous systems of these basically, and that is what is essentially going to help create additional programs and workshops, other resources in your business that you can create to bring to the women who are going to be in your community. So today, step number 2 is to know your niche. So when we know our niche, this is twofold. So this is going to be a 2-part thought assignment, I guess. We're also going to do some journaling too. So it's basically a 2-step process. So first, know your niche is, what are you specifically going to focus on starting with in terms of teaching? So there are a lot of different niches inside women's health. So there is a specific hormone condition that you could cover, whether that's PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids. Those are very specific hormone conditions. Maybe you just want to provide cycle education for women. So that's another niche. Maybe you want to help women with their period. Maybe you want to help women come off birth control or the IUD. Maybe you want to help women with PMS or PMDD. Maybe you want to help women with fertility, pregnancy, postpartum. Each one of those is a very different niche. So someone in fertility, someone who's trying to get pregnant, you can't market the same way as someone who's already pregnant. If you're trying to be like, hey, let's try and get you pregnant, and she's like, I'm due in 3 months, that woman's not going to buy from you because she doesn't need what you're putting out there. Same with postpartum. Someone who's pregnant or someone trying to get pregnant, they're not going to buy what you're selling for postpartum. They're going to be there for when they're ready to take that next step. So as you can see, there's so many different niches in women's health, and that's why I've been here trying to tell you, your work is so needed, because there's so much additional support that women need in all of these niches. So that's step number 1 for your niche. So really sit down and be like, what specific issue am I tackling? What arena did I really need when I was going through this? What problem was I focusing on? You can also focus on specific symptoms if that's what you want. So basically a hormone condition is a setup of a category of symptoms that then creates the condition that women are struggling with. So this could certainly be adrenal fatigue, it can be gut health. All of these things fall under the umbrella of women's health, especially if you're obviously then targeting women. But based on the realm, the problem that you want to solve, so that's step number 1. So really sit down. What problem are you trying to solve? So if you want to do a collection of symptoms, that can certainly be stuff like acne, that can be mood, that can be energy, if we need more energy, it can be weight loss, it can be bloating. So all of those things collectively also fall under hormonal health, because if you understand how to target the hormones related to those symptoms, that is gold in women's health, and you're going to do really well in your business because women want to solve those problems. So step number 2 in knowing your niche is knowing who you want to work with. Who are the women that you can solve their problem? So there is a concept in marketing where it's if you're marketing to everyone, you market to no one. So you cannot just show up with an idea of just I'm just going to help women. Women is not a niche to market to. You have to niche down and niche down and niche down. You want to get very, very specific. Because if you know specifically who you're talking to, you truly want to turn other people off from your work so that the women who you are talking to know that your work is for them. They're going to then buy from you. That's how marketing works. So you really want to niche it down. So first you want to understand the problem that you're looking to solve. And then step 2 is, who are you specifically want to target? So an easy way to do this, and this is your exercise tonight if you haven't done something like this before, is really sit down and think who is my work for? Who is she? A lot of people will have you do a profile of a person. So you can give her a name, what's her age group. You can certainly go through the demographics, all of those things, I actually feel more free when I go and I focus more on the characteristics and the profile of the woman. So really sit down and be like, what does she do? What is she like? Where does she hang out, like online or in person? What are her aspirations in life? Like, you're really, this exercise is going to help you when you're creating content, either just on your social media platforms or through your programs. Like, it's actually going to help tailor your communication so that you're targeting her very specifically. So when I did this, I knew that I wanted to, I basically, especially in coaching, and if this makes it easier, use this, especially in coaching, like, we end up getting started to basically help an older version of ourselves. You might have heard me talk about that in yesterday's video. So I knew from me and like who my personality would get along with and who I knew I would be able to be really excited about helping. So like, obviously make sure that you're going to be excited about working with these people, because if not, you don't want them to be in your niche. Like, you're not going to enjoy your job. So I knew I wanted to work with women who already ate well, already exercised, were really ambitious in their life, and knew that whatever they were doing in their health wasn't fully clicking, because they were trying so hard, they were trying to do well, they were trying to eat healthy, but something wasn't clicking. And I knew I could then help her make the hormone connection. So that's essentially who I was talking to, which technically was an older version of myself. I'm just a couple years or a couple steps ahead of her. And every time, I know I've done something right in my business, because every time I talk to somebody, whether it's someone who's taken my program, someone I've worked with one-on-one, maybe it's one of you guys, literally, we are like the same person. Like, we have the same aspirations in life, we have the same ambitions. The goals might be different, but how you live your life and who you are as a person is fundamentally very similar. We have very similar values, and like, it still blows my mind. Like, I'll get off a call with like a potential client and I feel so emotional because I'm like, oh, I like her so much. I've certainly had discovery calls for women where I could tell it wasn't a good fit, and I actually don't take them on as clients. The energy that you welcome into your work and into your life is crucial. Like, you want to be able to protect your energy. You want to feel good about who you're serving. And I very consciously told myself when I was doing this exercise, I do not want to work with the woman who's in a victim mentality mindset. I'm not going to be able to help her. I'm not going to be able to help get her the results that she wants. She's not for me. She can go find somebody else, because there's a lot of other people who do really well with that market. And like, for me, I just knew that we were not going to get along. To get the women the best results possible, I need women who are going to be like so committed. They've decided this is what they want. They take action on what they know they want. Like, those are the kind of women that I really get along well with. So you have to know yourself too, when you're thinking of your niche, like, who are you going to connect really well with? So that is going to be step 2 of your exercise. Is writing down like who your work is for and really getting to know her. Is she you a few years ago? Is she one of your friends? Like, you might have a lot of girlfriends where your dream client actually fits one of their profile. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an older version of yourself either. It doesn't always work like that. And the same as if you're going to be doing any sort of products, like, who are these products for? What kind of packaging does she want to see? What really attracts her? What gets her like excited? So definitely understanding these 2 parts of knowing your niche is going to help you so much in creating your business, because the person who I have been marketing to basically has not changed since I started 4 years ago. And so now, I kind of have a split in terms of like work that I'm doing. So I certainly have my health clients, I have business clients, and now I'm creating programs for those 2 separate markets. But the woman is the same. She's the same type of person. So just what her goals are different, and that's okay. So you're going to notice that in your business too. You're going to be like, okay, the person that I'm working towards and for doesn't change, but there's so many different sides of her. She needs, like, each of these people need different things, and that's what you then create in your work. So in our work through this challenge, and if you sign up for the Women's Health Business Accelerator program, I'll leave the link below. We're starting on August 3rd, and it's a 16-week program to learn women's health and how to start your business. If you sign up for that, you're going to realize, like, there's so much to do basically in like creating your business. So you want to start really small. I don't want you overly stressed out. I don't want you thinking you have to have all these programs and all these services set up. Like you really want to be focusing on one to start, and then you grow from there. So understanding even how to do this process is going to help you for when you grow. So my whole thing is to help people have a sustainable business and not to bite off more than we can chew, because like that's not going to serve any of us. You're going to be burnt out. Your mind is not going to work as well. Your creativity is going to plummet. Your cycles can then like be thrown off because of stress. So obviously like we want to avoid that at all costs. So really starting small. So focusing tonight on what problem you want to solve, and then who is that person. And just remember, like, oh, targeting women is not a niche. Like it's just not. So you definitely want to come up with like an age category, where she, if you're very specific on where she lives, you can certainly write that down. You can write down like, is she a stay-at-home mom? Is she somebody who has a job? Is she a college student? Is she is she an older mom with adult children? Like really getting specific, because that's going to help with your communication. And tomorrow we're going to be diving more into your communication. That's going to help you drive those women to you, which I'm excited for tomorrow, because it's going to take off so much pressure. I'm just thinking, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do marketing. I totally understand. So the link below is going to bring you to a page talking all about our Women's Health Business Accelerator program, where you want to learn women's health, you want to be able to master this, and I'm going to walk you through my signature system in the first 8 weeks of how I help women naturally balance their hormones. So I do it all through food, I do it through fitness, and I do it through our like understanding our cycle. And then depending on a woman's like specific goals, whether that's she wants to reduce bloating or clear skin or lose weight, get lean, all of our hormones can actually be hacked to create that end goal. And then depending on if you're doing a specific hormone condition, or you have another very specific niche that would need to have things tailored, you then can layer on your expertise as well. So the first 8 weeks is really meant to give you a baseline of the foundation of a woman's body. And I share all of my research. I focus on 7 very specific sets of hormones. There's so many different hormones. I focus on 7. I've done a lot of research on other women's health coaches, and none of them tackle all of these 7. So that to me was mind-blowing. I couldn't believe that there weren't more people who actually talked about all 7 of these hormones, but is what I have truly found to be the foundation and baseline for a woman to feel happy, good about herself, emotionally stable, like not stressed, like having the body that she wants, having the mindset that she wants, and like the relationships, like all the things. I'm going to be able to teach you how to hack these hormones. And so that will be their first 8 weeks. So you get all of my swipe files for women's health. I'm going to give you all my recommendations for being able to dive deeper into hormones, so you have those resources. I know there's a lot of questions of like, what books should I be reading? What can I have on my shelf just as resources? Like there's so many, and I want to be able to give you that list. And then the second part of the program is actually starting your business. So we're going to go through what you actually need to get started. I really try to simplify things, because when I was first getting started, I worked with and came in contact with a lot of people that was like, you have to do all these things in order to be successful. And I realized you don't. So it's like, you basically just gave me more work than I actually needed to. And it was like really confusing. So I want to make it as very simple as possible and just help you get started, because like you're constantly going to grow. You're constantly going to be changing things. You're constantly going to be tweaking. Entrepreneurship is all about change and growth. You're never going to have like anything you create, you're just going to try and make and be better, basically. So I'm going to be teaching you how to kind of get started, how to create a lot of automation in your work so that you can still have a life, how to actually create content that you don't get stressed about and you actually get excited about, because I know that the content creation is very much, it can lead to a lot of burnout. I've followed a lot of bloggers and even a lot of other entrepreneurs that really have talked about the burnout of content creation. And I want to make sure that we're creating a system that actually feels really good for you, something that's sustainable for right now, that also leaves you room to grow. So I really believe that slow and steady wins the race. So the more that we can get you doing activities that actually works with you right now, allows you to not mentally feel so stressed and think, I'm not doing something enough. As women, we already have so many messages in our life that tell us we're not enough, we're not doing enough, we're not being something enough for somebody. We cut that out of our businesses here. And like, my goal for you is to help make sure that you know that you are good enough, the work that you're doing is good enough, and that all of that is going to really come together, creating this really beautiful business around the work that you want to be able to share. Because you're getting into this work because you want to help others, and you want to be able to help them achieve the goals that they're looking for, because most often or not, like, there's going to be something that you personally struggled with, and you know how much that hurts to be in that space. And it's painful to think of all these women who are also hurting and in that space, and we want to make sure that they feel as good as you feel right now. And then as you grow and evolve, you're going to actually be layering on your work from there. But I want to make sure that you have a system and a structure that's set up to be very sustainable and leaves you room to grow. So branding is one of my favorite topics to talk about in business. So it's one of the first things we talk about when we're setting up your business, of like how to set up your brand, because you don't want to feel pigeonholed in your business. Oh, that's like the worst. So I actually set up to create a lifestyle brand around women's health. I never really wanted to do coaching, to be honest. Like, when I was first getting into it, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't really know it was an industry. I just always wanted a brand that women could actually really wanted a lot of products. And so in order for me to get there, coaching is actually like a way in order for me to be able to deliver that one day, because it helps you create community. It helps you build brand awareness. So we're going to be able to talk about like, how can you actually lay out the foundation of your brand that leaves you so much room to grow, because that's where you're going to have a lot of different avenues of income. You're going to have a lot of different opportunities and resources, because your mission and everything's the same. So I'm really going to help teach you how to set up your brand in a way that feels really good and aligned to who you are and what you aspire for, like all these women, because you're going to have so many grand dreams for them. We want to be able to set things up so you actually have space to do that, versus I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs have to go and rebrand. They've had to go and kind of scrap their original business that they spent so long creating, because they're like, oh, it doesn't fit with me anymore. I want to help you avoid that. So we're going to really focus on setting up your brand in a way that really feels good to grow. We're going to be focusing on what social media platforms are going to be really right for your personality and your strengths. I feel like that's when we shine the best, versus making you feel like you have to be on all of these platforms, because you do not. We're going to be focusing on networking and finding collaborations, certainly with other entrepreneurs, but also brands. So something that I really excelled with in my old job was actually brand partnerships with companies and creating if you don't know, I used to plan fundraising events where I was the most successful in raising money for an event from corporate sponsors. And I've actually been doing some of that in my work now at Balance Bombshells, where I partner with other brands and they actually pay me to be in front of my audience. I only partner with brands if it is aligned with the mission. I believe we need to be very ethical in our work as well. So I do not partner with someone just because they're going to pay me something. It's very much in line. So I can teach you how to find those collaborations and like what that looks like, because that is also going to help you build your audience and build your brand. So we're going to be diving into all of this in the Women's Health Business Accelerator program. I'm super excited for it. It's a group program, 16 weeks. You're going to be able to come in and network with all these women all over the world and really create this like tribe, because I really wish a program like this existed when I got started. And that's what you're going to end up doing. You're going to create programs that you wish existed for you. So like, I'm actually created something for you that I wish I had when I was getting started, because it can be a lonely road. Entrepreneurship is lonely. Women's health is not meant to be lonely. A huge component of women's health is actually building community. And when you're going off to make changes in your health or start a business, like, you need women in your corner, and it feels really good to have that. And all the women coming into this group are going to be the kinds of women who believe that women support women. No one is stepping on each other's toes. There's more than enough space and room for everybody. Even as you were going through the Women's Health Summit, you might have noticed like, hey, I was actually talking to my competition. Like, technically, all the women's health people were technically competition, but none of us ever view it that way. It's like, hey, you have your own spin. Like, if you notice, everyone had their own spin on how they were teaching women's health. Some of them had very specific niches. Some of them were a little bit more broad, and it didn't matter. And so I hope you can know that like we rise together. I'm not one to hoard resources. I'm willing to give you anything and everything you need to be successful because I truly care about your success in this industry. I really believe there needs to be more women out there teaching this stuff so more women feel good about themselves and feel good about their lives. And that's what we're going to be diving through in this program. I'll also be having experts come in legal, in women's health and mindset to be able to help you learn from other experts in those areas. So if you've ever had a question of like setting up your business legally, like what do you need? We're going to be diving into all of that too, because I know that that can be a source of stress when you're getting started. I totally understand. I had talked to lawyers before getting started because you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence before opening your doors and like taking money from somebody. Like what does that look like, especially from a health coaching perspective? We want to make sure that you're legally protected as well, because like this isn't you just being like, yeah, okay, I'm going to make money. Like you're a business. This is not some hobby. You're a business, and you need to be able to make sure that you are protected on all fronts, and I want to help make sure that that happens for you. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or email me at laura@balancebombshells.com. Registration is open for the next 2 weeks, so we start on August 3rd. For the first 10 women who sign up, I have a special freebie bonus for you where you get 2 one-on-one calls with me throughout the program, because in a group setting, it can sometimes, you want to be able to get your questions answered, and it's actually really helpful to have that one-on-one attention because I can look at your work. So I act very much as a marketing consultant with my business clients, where I actually look at their work and I help them edit it, because like it's really helpful to have like a second pair of eyes on it. So I'm going to be there to help you create all that content. I want to be able to help edit and give that support to you. So for the first 10 women who sign up, we're going to be able to have 2 one-on-one calls. Sometimes I've only done programs and they only give you 1 call, which I think is such a sham, which is why I'm offering 2. I think we need those check-in points. And then you're obviously going to be able to network with other women in the program. We're going to do a weekly group call every single week for 16 weeks, where you get to come in and ask questions. You get to share what you're learning, what your big aha moments are, what your wins are, what your struggles are. Like this is just a part of life. We need an outlet and a space to be able to talk about all those things. And like guys, doing business is so lonely if you don't have these connections. And I want to make sure that you have that community and that tribe to lean on, because you can't do this alone. Like it's really, really challenging to do it alone. And I want to be able to be there to help support you and help you connect to other women who are going to help you get your work out there as well. And just being able to share resources is really powerful. Like you might connect with someone, you're like, hey, she's not a good fit for me, but she is from my friend who I met from this program. And you guys can then just like share referrals too. Like it's really helpful. And word of mouth is the best form of advertising, guys. So, and like vice versa, they'll send clients to you. So like it all works by sharing and really being collaborative. So you're going to learn so much. We're going to really master women's health within you. We're going to figure out like all of your niche stuff, all of your marketing, how to be like starting and setting up your business. And I'm just so excited to get started. I really wish it was like August 3rd already, but that program is going to be starting really soon. So again, the link will be below. And so tonight, as a recap, your homework is to know your niche. First step is what problem are you solving for women specifically? And then step 2 is who are you specifically speaking to? Like who do you want to be targeting? And tomorrow we've got a really great lesson where we're going to be diving into making sure you're like, how do you attract those people? Like we're going to be talking a lot about your communication, a lot about your tone, because a lot of us are going to be running online businesses now, and like our tone in a written communication is very important. Okay guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. And until tomorrow, I will see you then, and I hope you have a good day.